We're here today to talk about some bad advice to not save your marriage, and more importantly, how to understand that bad advice. My name is Lee Balcom, and I'm the Internet's leading marriage expert. I want to talk with you about this today because I've seen so much. In fact, today what you're going to get is a little rant time for me. I've tried for as long as I've been on the Internet to avoid pointing the finger at marriage advice on the Internet, but I can't be quiet any longer. When I started offering help with marriages in 2001, there were maybe 2 of us on the Internet. Now there's an explosion of ebooks and advice on how to save your marriage. Most even borrowed my subtitle, "Even If Only You Want To." Now my problem is not about the competition. In my mind, there really is no competition. If people are genuinely offering good advice on the Internet of helping to save a marriage, I have no problem. I have often said that my job is to put myself out of business. If I could save every marriage, my job would be done. I could pull out the hammock, put it up between the coconut trees, grab my cool drink, and watch the tide come in. Not much chance of that little fantasy. So my problem is not the competition. It's the horrible advice I'm seeing out there, and you've probably seen it too. Now there is good advice, but there is also bad advice, and the question is, do you know the difference? Saving a marriage takes efforts. No amount of magic potions, hypnosis, reverse psychology, make your spouse jealous, or how to be a great lover advice is going to put Humpty back together again. So much of the advice is based in deception. Whoever believed they could fool someone into staying married? Oh, sure, the reverse psychology, which is basically agreeing with your spouse so that they are disarmed, may give you a little time to get moving, but very little time. Whenever we seek to manipulate someone, it will come back to bite you in the butt. Magic potions. Come on! Love and restoring love is magic enough. Saying a few wishful words is not going to make it so. If you have seen The Secret, this is my biggest gripe with it. It is not that I don't believe in intention. I do think that we can focus on, and we often create that. If nothing else, because we notice what we focus on, this works. But if we just sit back and think that we can imagine our spouse coming back, then we miss the important part, action. Something has to change. We have to change. Again, I am not against visualization. It is a fine place to start, but you can't imagine yourself into a new relationship. You have to take action, and you have to take the right action. Now this brings us to the information that inspired this rant, the action that some people have been recommending. I was reading an article by someone who wrote an ebook, who shall not be named, mostly because name-calling seems a little bit juvenile. Now this person is really an internet marketer that decided there was a buck to be made here, which is why I think the advice is so dangerous. It is not tested, not clinical, and is based in making money. Now this advice is really aimed at men. If you are separated, you should date and pursue other women, is what he said. He says that this will help you with your self-esteem and self-respect. He says it will make your wife jealous. So, first, this may fit into some male fantasy, but it is just that, fantasy. Second, it basically means that someone is going out to use someone as a way of getting a spouse back. Does that not seem just really cruel and, in fact, bordering on immoral? It is not that someone has decided that the marriage is over and starts looking to establish another relationship. It is establishing a relationship, I put that in quotations, with a plan that will get a marriage back on track. Now third, in many instances, the result is one of 2 paths. It either tanks any chance at reconciliation or creates more wounds that must be overcome later on. Many spouses, particularly wives, will see this as a sign that the marriage really is over and that you're moving on and emotionally leave at that point. And the rest, if there is a reconciliation, will now have a trust issue and a hurt that must be overcome on top of all the other issues that have to be faced. Finally, anyone that sees this as a path to self-worth and self-esteem has way underestimated their worth. Reducing oneself to a conquest is a low place to go. So if you look for advice, I hope that you could pose yourself a couple of questions, just a few questions to ponder. First of all, consider the source. Is this an expert or just someone with an opinion? Second, as you read, does the person offer the promise of an easy and simple, no-work answer? Marriages do not get in trouble overnight, and it takes a while to get them back on course, and it takes effort. It doesn't just happen, and it's not easy, and it's not simple. You do have to have the right advice, though. Finally, can you, with integrity, follow the advice? At the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. If you manipulate someone, are you okay with yourself? If it works, will you say to yourself, yeah, but I tricked him or her into saying? Above all, be true to yourself. Now, if you want to get some good advice, I want you to go now to www.savethemarriage.com.